Guys, I'm Miss Calloway, and I'm going to be your instructor for nursing research and evidence-based practice. And I just wanted to welcome you to the course and take some time to kind of go over the syllabus with you and the course schedule and some of the things that are going to be required during this semester. And yes, I am wearing my coat because it's Friday today when I'm recording this, and it's snowing and about 14 degrees outside, so it's cold in my office. So in just looking at the syllabus, and you guys have access to this on Blackboard, and you should have been emailed a copy of the syllabus and the course schedule, that you will have it on, you have it on Blackboard under your syllabus tab. So a lot of this you can read yourself, but I did want to point out a few things. First of all, is faculty, here is myself, where my office is, and I am on the Durant campus. This is our main number for the Durant campus, the 745-3180. You can call and talk to our secretary, Amy, and she can get you connected with me. I teach some other classes, and I'm the program coordinator on this campus, so I'm not always sitting at my desk, so I give you her number so she can get you in contact with me. And then my mobile phone number is also on there. I do prefer text if it's just a quick question, but feel free to call if you need to talk about something. And then please don't text or call after 9 p.m. or before 5 a.m. or on the weekends. And then my email address is also here, and you can email me for any questions you have or anything we need to discuss. I try to answer within 24 hours, unless it's on the weekend, and then it'll be on Monday when I get back with you. So also, if you want to come see me, like I said, I'm on the Durant campus, so if you need a face-to-face meeting, you can call that main office number and set up an appointment with Amy to come in and see me. So the syllabus just goes through the course description and kind of the overview of the course, and I'll let you guys read that. And then we go into our program outcomes, and this is what we expect when you graduate from our program, that you will, the things that you will be able to do. And our student learning outcomes. And this kind of, the student learning outcomes are broken down, and then they reflect what activities that we're going to do in the class that match up with those outcomes. And then also the BSN Essentials and QSN are things that we try to map our curriculum to. So this is just kind of a map. It shows where those things match up. Your required textbook is Pollitt and Beck, Essentials of Nursing Research. And this is it. You do not have to have the hard copy. The link you were given, the access code, gives you access to an ebook. If you're comfortable just using the ebook, that is perfectly fine. If you want a hard copy, you were also provided a code in that initial email I sent out that allows you to get a discount to order like the hard copy book. So that is totally up to you. Sorry. Got a frog today. The other required articles, I have provided the links for these in Blackboard, so all you have to do is click on that article link, and it will take you right to that article, so you don't have to purchase any of these. And there's kind of a topic outline of the course. Then we get into our grading system. You have to have at least a C to be able to pass the course, and there is no rounding of grades. So if you make a 74.99, that is a D. If you make an 89.99, that is a B. It won't round up to an A. So I just want to make that clear from the start that we won't round any grades. And you can see the grading scale here. And then kind of how the grades are broken down. The homework completion, I'll kind of go into that a little more, and I'll probably do another recording on the Lippincott course point, which is where you'll do most of your course, and that's where this homework completion comes from. There's interactive modules and video cases that you'll do that will account, now there's 12 chapters that we'll cover during the semester, and the work for those will account for this 12% of your course. There's only 2 Blackboard discussions, and they're done the very first week of the course, so those are worth 5% of your grade. And then there's 3 quizzes. The first one is a library literacy quiz, and you'll take that. There's a link in Blackboard that you'll take, work on some modules from the library. And so that quiz, if you just do those and upload your certificates to Blackboard, then you'll get the 5% for that quiz. The other 2 quizzes are actual tests, and they're around 30-35 questions. You will take those at home, open book, but they are timed. So, and you can only take them once. And so those 3 together will be worth 15% of your grade. There are 2 self-reflections that you'll do. The first one is right at the first of the semester. And then the second one is at the very end of the semester during finals week that you'll do these self-reflections. And those need to be well thought out, well-written self-reflections, and they're worth 8% of your grade. And then we do a compare and contrast research methods table. That'll be worth 5%. Your PICO question development is worth 5%. And then right after spring break, we start on our group project. So we'll cover all of those book chapters up through, I think we have one chapter after spring break, but everything else will be done before. So it's going to be a lot of reading and a lot of this homework completion before spring break. And then after spring break, you'll be working with your groups, and we'll work step by step through this group project that you will present online through WebEx at the end of the semester. So when you look at your course schedule and you think, oh my gosh, some of these weeks have a lot of chapters in them and we're doing a lot of work, just realize that when you get toward the end, it's going to be that group work, and it won't be quite so intensive, but it's preparing you to be able to do that group work. So this group project is 50% of your grade, and it's broken down into 6 parts, and we'll kind of go over that a little more later. So as far as my teaching strategies, we try to use several different things, and so we'll use discussion boards. I'll be recording lectures each week and posting, so if you want to watch those to go along with your chapters, you can. And they'll just be short, kind of like these little recordings. And then we're going to use the point for a lot of your work will be in the point homework assignments. Then you'll have assigned readings, the quizzes, and then all of those things that were part of the group project and the other things that you're doing, self-reflections and things. You need to be active in this class. You need to be participating. If you have questions, you need to ask them. I will also put up a discussion post that is just for questions, and you can ask them there, because if you have the question, probably someone else does too, and that'll just be an open forum where you can go in anytime and ask a question. So the description of the assignments, so for most of these you can read through them. I'm going to do another recording just about Lippincott so that you can look at it. The discussion boards, they're there. There's a rubric on how the discussion boards are graded that we'll look at. And there's deadlines for everything in your course schedule so that you'll know when things are due. So be sure and keep up with that. Your self-reflection is just kind of exploring how you're learning, looking at how you feel about research and what we're doing and those kind of things. And so it's really a time to just look at what your thoughts are on this stuff, and just write honestly about how you're feeling and what you're thinking about the processes that we're going through. And these are not a discussion post. This is something that you'll turn in, and they're private. I'll be the only one that sees those. So please be honest in those, and but also be professional, and we expect you to write quality writing. So I've kind of gone over and explained the quizzes to you, but here's a little more explanation of the quiz 2 and 3 and what those will have in them. And then the compare and contrast table. You're going to be comparing and contrasting quantitative and qualitative research methods. And that's something that we'll work on, and I'll do a recording for you so that you'll understand kind of how to do that. And then the PICO questions is a little bit of explanation about that assignment. And then it goes into the group project. So part 1 is the review of literature. This kind of breaks down how we're going to do each section. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this, because as we go through it, we'll be doing recordings. We'll be talking about how to do each one of these. So don't look at this and say, I have no clue what's going on here. We'll work on those together. So that goes through the Rapid Critical Appraisal Part 2, the Evaluation Table Part 3, the Synthesis Table Part 4, and then your PowerPoint presentation that you'll do via WebEx on Part 5. And then Part 6 will actually do the final week during Finals Week, is a peer evaluation. So just a heads up from the beginning, you will be evaluating everyone in your group, and everyone's evaluation of you will count as part of your final grade. So you want to be sure that when you're the group leader that you're doing your job. When you're just part of the group, we'll rotate group leaders, but when you're part of the group that you're doing your part of the work and communicating effectively with your peers and those kind of things. And there's general policies. This is the Nursing Student Handbook and the ECU Student Handbook and Code of Conduct. And there's links to those that you can access. Important university date, so it's the last days to drop a course and the days that we have off. We won't have any assignments during the week of January 16th because it's Martin Luther King Day, and I teach 2 other sections face-to-face of this course, and one of those is on a Monday and we don't have class, so I just am not doing it for anybody, so we stay on the same schedule. So you can work ahead. You guys can work ahead on week 3 during that week if you want to. And obviously, while we don't have face-to-face attendance, we do. It is important that you participate in all the online portions of this course. And then communication. Be sure that we're communicating. It talks about communication via Blackboard, email, and then virtual communication. We can set up a WebEx if you want a face-to-face meeting, but you don't want to drive down here. I'll be happy to set up a WebEx and we can meet face-to-face with our webcams like I'm doing right now. There's some information on netiquette, submitting your assignments, late work, and then there's just the typical policies that we have. And then the last part of the syllabus, it looks really long, but the whole last part is all of the rubrics for how you're going to be assessed. So this first one is your discussion post rubric. And what I will do for your discussion post is actually go in and for each of your posts and give you the grade for this and enter it into Blackboard. So make sure that when you're doing your discussion post that you're looking at this and making sure that you have met all of these requirements at an excellent level, and then you'll know that you have those 10 points. So this course is not designed to fail anyone. It's designed to give you everything you need to be successful if you'll use these tools. So the self-reflection, it talks about it, gives you the link to the BSN Essentials, and gives you the table that you can use to kind of help guide your self-reflection. And then it has your questions here. These are also on Blackboard, so don't feel like you have to remember where this is in the syllabus, but it's good for you to go back and review. Your compare and contrast table, and like I said, we'll talk about these in detail as you're asked to do them. Your PICO questions. And then we get into your group project and how these are graded. And so that's your review of literature rubric, your rapid critical appraisal, and then your synthesis tables. And so I'm not going to go over these in detail because we'll do that as we get into those sections. And then this is your guidelines for your PowerPoint presentation, how you need to set that up, and then how you'll be graded. And lastly, your peer evaluation. Well, I say lastly, your peer evaluation, and then lastly, your self-reflection. So you can look through all of this in your own syllabus. And like I said, we'll go over each thing throughout the semester. And please, if you have any questions at all about the syllabus or anything else, feel free to contact me. Try to make myself very available to you guys, and let me know if you need anything else at all. Thank you, and I'll see you again when we talk about the course schedule.